97.3 Citi FM. Relevant radio, always.
Hello and welcome to Politicos on Citi TV. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. This week, Agogo is back in the news. The residents there want the Fulani herdsmen, the nomads, they should just leave. Will they succeed? Also, Convention People's Party went to Congress this week. They elected Ivor Greenstreet to be their new flag bearer. What does that mean to Samia Nkrumah's political future? So this week, the issues have come to a head at Agogo. The Fulani herdsmen are reluctant to leave. The residents there want them to leave. The Member of Parliament want them to leave. But would they leave at all? What exactly is the crux of the matter? What is wrong in Agogo that is not wrong in other Fulani settlements across the country? Kojo Ajiman is our reporter on the ground. He's been following the story. So Kojo, what is the peculiar situation in Agogo for which the residents want the Fulani herdsmen to leave?
Well, Sanda, the Fulani invasion in Agogo has been ensuing for over 12 years. But what has really caused this recent uproar is that the death of one local priest in the area. Apparently, the man was shot and killed by a Fulani herdsman. And then after that incident, the Member of Parliament for the area, Honorable Kojo Ajiman, led the youth of Agogo to demonstrate against the killings. Now, during the demonstration, they warned the traditional authorities not to go ahead with the 40th anniversary coronation of the chief of the area, Nana Ekuoko Sapon. And then they also said that the police are being biased towards them because they are not protecting the town folks, the indigenous of Agogo.
You talked there about the police. We know that they have deployed, military and police personnel have been deployed yesterday to the community, that is on Thursday. So if they do not trust the police, do you think there's going to be a collaboration between them?
Well, it took the Ashanti Regional Security Council to come in. In fact, on Wednesday, the outgoing Ashanti Regional Minister, Peter Nefi, held a press conference and issued a roadmap saying that immediately from now to the end of March, they are going to evict all Fulani men. So yesterday, he led a team of a joint military and security task force, military and police task force there. The Chief of Army Staff was included, the IGP was included. They were in the area to start the eviction process. And then the Fulani herdsmen started...
There was some resistance?
They were resisting these attempts from the Regional Security Council not to move away from the land because they say they have been living there for over 12 years now.
But are we going to see an end to this issue? Because it's a recurring issue. You've mentioned that at 12 years. So we know every other year this issue comes up. Do you think we are going to see a final solution to the conflict in Agogo?
Well, we are hopeful because the Chief of Army Staff has stepped in, the IGP has stepped in, the Ashanti Regional Police Command has stepped in, and the traditional authorities there. So we believe that this impasse will end soon.
Thank you very much. Kojo Ajiman is a man who is following the conflict situation in Agogo between herdsmen, that is Fulani herdsmen, and crop farmers or residents of Agogo. So this week began with a shocker for the Convention People's Party. They went to Congress and elected, instead of the popular thought, Ivor Greenstreet, a former General Secretary. What does that mean to Samia Nkrumah's political future? And what does it even mean to the Nkrumah tradition in the Convention People's Party, which Nkrumah himself founded? Sixtus John Ulo was at that Congress. So Sixtus, delegates showed up. Was it visible at the Congress ground that they were going to elect Ivor Greenstreet as against Samia Nkrumah, which was a more popular candidate?
Well, Sanda, from the Congress grounds, there are over 2,500 delegates who converged were not readily readable on this particular matter because it was difficult for one to have discerned from the outward appearances that these were people who were willing to go along with Samia or they were willing to go along with Greenstreet. You know, it was clear, however, that Samia and Greenstreet were in the very least going to go into a tie, neck to neck. Yeah. Mm.
And so eventually Samia, so when Samia emerged victor, when Ivor Greenstreet emerged victor at the end of the day, was it a shocker to both journalists and delegates present?
I would say,
because we have heard from Samia that there was issue of vote buying, so which means she expected to have won. Were they surprised that they lost?
I would say it was a shocker, but then again, like you mentioned yourself, these were signals that were picked from the Congress ground that some other underground dealings were probably going on. you know. And if you have followed these congresses, of course, you would realize that it's difficult for you to see money being handed over from one camp to the other. So usually it is speculative. You cannot definitely say that this is what happened. But from the manifesto reading, at the point that the candidates had the opportunity to engage with the delegate, it was clear the moment Greenstreet emerged on the podium that indeed he was going to cause a stir.
Finally, we know that Onzi Nkrumah failed to make it in the race because of a lot of issues that came up, which we have been told. Samia Nkrumah has lost the seat. She was former chairperson. She has lost that seat. She's no more member of parliament on behalf of the CPP. Does it mean an end to the Nkrumah name in the CPP?
Not really, Sanda, because as a keen observer of the Convention People's Party for some time now, you would realize that it does not necessarily have to take a biological offspring of the founder of the party for the name to remain relevant. The name of Nkrumah is still relevant both to the CPP and to the general politics of Ghana. And so whether Samia won or lost, whether Onzi is part of the process or not, is immaterial.
So like they say, time will tell. We'll be watching what difference Ivor Greenstreet as flag bearer of the CPP is going to make on November 7 when Ghanaians go to elect their president for the next 4 years. But that's how we end this edition of Politicos, which came to you from Citi TV. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Catch you next week.